Hi, Jodie Hill here again, and today I'm talking about disability discrimination. So disability discrimination is something that comes up loads, and it's actually quite a low threshold. It's set out in the Equality Act, and the definition is very, very clear. You have to have suffered from a physical or mental impairment for at least 12 months or likely to suffer more than 12 months. And that impairment has to have a substantial and adverse effect on your ability to carry out your day-to-day activities. So I've basically just repeated the legislation to you there. I kind of know it off by heart because I literally do these cases every day. They are my favourite type of claims to support people with, purely because I feel that people who are disabled sometimes don't know their rights, and just because of the way the legislation is constructed. It's a different definition to the disability kind of blue badge disability. It's a much lower threshold, so you don't even have to have a diagnosis. You can simply be an individual who fits within this legal definition. So it's really important that from an employer's perspective, you don't wait for someone to have a diagnosis or to bring you proof of disability, because there's an element of reasonableness of whether or not you as an employer should know about that disability. So how does it manifest itself? You know, someone hasn't told you that they can't walk but they're in a wheelchair. That's a really obvious way. And another way might be someone who has a mental health condition and has a panic attack at work. They haven't told you that, but you've seen them, you've supported with them, you know that they had a panic attack, but then you don't then go and do any more about it. So that's how disability is looked at under the employment legislation, and by the tribunals they will often want medical evidence where it's disputed. So do keep records of everything. If you are considering bringing a claim for disability discrimination, then the definition of disability is so important. It's really important to understand, first of all, whether it's a physical or mental impairment, secondly, how long you've suffered or likely to suffer. And also it's really important to understand that if you're taking medication, what the impact would be without that medication. So lots of people will take medication to make them feel almost, as they describe it, normal, and actually without that medication they wouldn't be able to cope. So it's also important to discuss that with your lawyer if this is something that you want to explore further, because it's looking at the impact it has on you as an individual. So what's really important as well, so there's loads of important things here, because lots of people don't understand that just because, so for example, one person with anxiety might be found by a tribunal to have a mental health condition that then amounts to a disability. However, someone else might have the same condition, but it doesn't have the substantial adverse effect, or it doesn't meet the long-term requirement. So just simply having a diagnosis or having a condition doesn't automatically mean that you have a disability under the Equality Act. So it's really important that you meet that criteria and you set out and understand exactly how you fit within that criteria in order to meet the definition. If you don't, then you're not able to bring a claim for failure to make adjustments or disability discrimination of other forms. It's a really quick intro to disability discrimination, but we have loads of stuff on our website about disability discrimination. In order for you to bring a claim, you have to have you have to meet the definition. So this is why this little video is super important from my perspective, for people to understand exactly what their rights are. Moving forward, I'm going to talk about the different types of discrimination. So we have direct, indirect, harassment, victimisation, we have failure to make adjustments, and with disability we also have arising from discrimination. I'm going to do a video on each of these so that hopefully it explains the different types of discrimination that take place in the workplace, and hopefully this has been helpful. As always, please share, like, comment and drop any questions below. If you feel that you have a disability and have been discriminated against at work, please email me on this email, and I'll be more than happy to conduct a free initial assessment to support you on your journey. Thank you for watching.